When it comes to your business, are you just guessing or are you actually measuring? Well, today we are going to demystify KPIs and metrics. These are the critical numbers that can literally mean the difference between success and failure, and they'll help you focus on what truly matters.
I want you to imagine your business is a jumbo jet. The cockpit is just crammed with dials and flashing lights. That's all your data. But what if you can't tell the difference between your altitude, your speed, and your fuel level? You're flying blind. You have absolutely no idea if you're climbing towards your destination or just heading for a nosedive.
And that's a problem so many businesses have, right? You're just drowning in this sea of data, but you're starving for actual insights. The answer isn't to get more data, it's to find your focus. It's about finding those few critical numbers that bring you clarity in all that chaos.
All right, so let's jump right in. Here's our flight plan for today. First, we're going to nail down the difference between metrics and KPIs. Then we'll look at how to predict the future versus just evaluating the past. After that, we'll take a lightning tour of KPIs across different parts of a business. We'll talk about how to build a killer dashboard, and then we'll wrap it all up with your key takeaways.
Okay, first things first, let's get our language straight. You hear these two terms, metric and KPI, thrown around all the time, often like they're the same thing. But they're not. They are fundamentally different, and understanding this is really step one.
So, what's a metric? Super simple. A metric is basically anything you can count. How many people visited your website? How many likes did you get on a post? How many emails did you send out? If you can stick a number on it, congratulations, it's a metric.
But a KPI. Now, a KPI, a key performance indicator, that's a special kind of metric. It's not just any number. It's a number that's directly tied to your most important business goals. It's the one that tells you, point blank, are we winning or are we losing?
So here's the bottom line, and this is so crucial. Every single KPI is a metric, but not every metric has what it takes to be a KPI. It's all about separating the stuff that's just kind of interesting to know from the stuff you absolutely need to know to survive.
And this example just makes it crystal clear. Think about an online store. How many page views they get. That's a metric. It's nice to know, sure, but it doesn't pay the bills. But revenue, conversion rate, customer acquisition cost, those are KPIs. They tell you if the business is actually healthy, if it's profitable.
Okay, let's add another layer to this. When we're looking at all these numbers, are we trying to predict what's coming next, or are we just evaluating what's already happened? This is the huge difference between leading and lagging indicators. So a leading indicator, well, it's predictive. Think about the number of sales calls your team makes this week. That gives you a pretty good clue about what your future revenue might look like. A lagging indicator, on the other hand, measures what's already done, like last month's final revenue number. And you really need both. You need leading indicators to steer the ship and make proactive changes, and you need lagging indicators to look back and confirm you actually got where you wanted to go.
All right, enough theory. Let's see how this stuff actually works in the real world. Every single department in a company has different goals, right? So naturally, they're going to track different KPIs. Let's take a quick tour.
First up, the sales team. For them, it is all about the money. Of course, they track revenue, but they're also obsessed with their conversion rate. What percentage of people they talk to actually become customers. They're watching the average order value to see if people are spending more, and so importantly, the customer acquisition cost, or CAC, to know exactly how much they're spending to bring in each new customer.
And that brings us to what I like to call the golden ratio, lifetime value to customer acquisition cost. The magic number you're aiming for is at least 3 to 1. Think about it. If it costs you 100 rupees to get a new customer, you need that customer to spend at least 300 rupees with you over their lifetime. If that ratio is off, your business model might be in big trouble.
Next up, marketing. Their job is to get attention, and to get it efficiently. So they live and die by KPIs like click-through rate on their ads and the cost per click. But the big one, the one that really matters, is return on ad spend. For every single rupee they put into a campaign, how many rupees did they get back out? They're also watching engagement rate to see if people are actually connecting with their content.
Now let's go to the engine room, operations. Their KPIs are all about running a tight ship, efficiency and quality. They're measuring things like utilization rate. Are our people and our machines actually busy? Are they sitting idle? They're constantly tracking the defect rate for quality control. And of course, the on-time delivery rate, because a late delivery is basically a broken promise to your customer. And finally, finance.
These guys have that 30,000-foot view of the entire company's health. They're tracking the bottom line with profit margin, they're monitoring the company's lifeblood with cash flow, and they're measuring overall efficiency with big-picture KPIs like return on investment.
Let's make ROI super simple. Imagine you spend 10,000 rupees on a marketing campaign, and that campaign brings in 25,000 in sales. Your gain is 15,000. The math tells us that's a 150% return on your investment. Put it this way, for every single rupee you spent, you got a rupee and a half back. Now that is a powerful number.
Okay, so you figured out the right KPIs for your business. That's fantastic. But a number just sitting there by itself is, well, it's pretty meaningless. Now we have to give it some context by setting targets and putting it all on a dashboard that actually makes sense.
See, a KPI without a target isn't really a KPI. It's just a number. To make it meaningful, you've got to have a benchmark. You can compare against your own performance from last year, you can compare against the industry average, you can even try to compare against your direct competitors. Or you can start with a big business goal and work backward to set your target.
And when you finally build that dashboard, please remember these rules. Less is more. Seriously, focus on just 5 to 7 key numbers max. Always show trends over time, not just a snapshot of today. Use simple visual cues, red, yellow, green, so you can see the status in a split second. And oh my gosh, keep the data fresh. Stale data is actually worse than having no data at all.
Wow, we have covered a lot of ground today, right? We've gone all the way from the chaos of raw data to the beautiful clarity of insights you can actually use. So let's just take a second to recap the most important points.
All right, let's lock in these key takeaways. Number 1, KPIs are the vital few metrics. Don't track everything. 2, use leading indicators to steer and lagging indicators to check your rearview mirror. 3, every part of the business has its own unique scorecard. 4, a number without a target is just noise. And 5, build your dashboard to be simple, visual, and ready for action. So, I'm going to leave you with one final challenge. I want you to forget all the noise, all the data for just a moment, and ask yourself this one simple question. What are the 3 to 5 numbers that truly define success for me or for my business? If you can answer that, you've found your compass. Thanks for joining me.